We got a special guest here today. John Engel. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm John Engel with Engel Home Inspections, veteran owned and operated. That covers it, man.
The home inspector.
Yeah, home inspector.
That's all y'all need to know, So we're doing something different, bringing in guests and help me and Matt to give y'all the latest real estate news and trends, what's going on.
That's right.
So let's get started. Windy City Rehab team facing multiple lawsuits adding to HGTV show trouble. Multiple lawsuits. That can be good. So what we got here is I saw Fist and Flip, the Property Brothers. Anybody y'all heard of Windy City Rehab?
I've heard of Windy City.
Okay.
I haven't watched it, but
you, Matt?
Yeah, I've watched some of that stuff.
Okay.
I watched plenty of that stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just not that one.
Yeah. So it seemed Chicago. Her name is Allison Vittoria. She is the host of Windy City Rehab. A couple who bought one of the Northside's home featured on the first season of the show is suing Windy City Rehab. Host Allison Vittoria and contractors Donovan and Ermar over alleged problem with their roof, windows, exterior masonry, and halfway bathrooms. So basically, it sounds like they did
a job.
Yeah, they did a bad job. The couple bought the house for $1.36 million. John.
My first question is, did they have a home inspector? If they didn't, if they waived it because it's a show and those shows build confidence, and you think, okay, I got all these high dollar contractors in there, I can trust every one of them.
Can you even buy a home before the home inspection? It sounded like that would sound like they did. They bought the home.
It depends on the contract that they're buying it under. It can not require a home inspection. Some people waive that right to have a home inspection. That's my first question. If they did have a home inspection, why isn't his name listed in there? Because, and I thinking through it kind of thinks, a home inspector has certain types of insurance, errors and omission, and then liability. If they screw something up, liability. If they miss something, it's errors and omission. You have to have $200 million in Indiana and Kentucky. I don't know about Chicago, but I'm sure it's at least comparable.
Right.
So they're not going to get nearly as much from what a home inspector would get. It would have to pay out, so they're going at the TV show because that's where the money's at.
Yeah. So I'm surprised that the banks don't require an inspection, because I feel like if I'm the
$1.36 million. I mean,
if I'm the bank, I want to know what's wrong with that.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I agree. It's not something that is required all the time. It depends on the loan, on the originator, and everything else. But there's a lot of people don't do it for a brand new house.
Right.
And from my experience, I find 20 deficiencies average. It changes, but the deficiencies, there's about 20 in every house. Brand new house is 20. The scale of it on that's fine to oh crap is usually pretty low.
Right.
But there's deficiencies in every home that I have yet to find
a perfect home.
Yeah.
Man, you know what's perfect? Do you know what's perfect?
Getting a perfect home inspection.
My point is, there's nothing perfect.
Perfect.
Nothing.
Exactly.
There's nothing perfect.
Now, how often has your inspection helped a homeowner ask for like a big discount because of all the things wrong that you found?
Good question.
So for a home inspector, there's two levels that you have to be really good at to be a good home inspector. One is obviously the home inspection itself.
Right.
Two, and my only job is to tell the truth, and that's what I love about my job. That's all I got to do. However, it's not my job to scare anybody. If they ask me, say, there's 5 things that cost thousands of dollars. You got roof, plumbing, electrical, structure, and then HVAC. Those are the things that can eat your lunch.
Right.
Those are the things we focus on as home inspectors, pretty much across the board. If one of those items has an issue, we talk about what it costs to replace that. And at that point, I tell the client, all right, so I don't want you to get upset because anything can be fixed with time and money.
Right.
You don't want it to be yours. They don't want it to be theirs. I always, and to try to diffuse the situation, I say, what I do is I get the agents out there that raise their sleeves and they fight in the yard and figure out who's going to pay for it.
Exactly.
And that's kind of
Well, yeah, because I feel like if I'm the home buyer, then I want to use the inspection
Yes.
like my tool
Your
to
ammunition.
say,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not buying this thing unless
At this price, discount.
we talk about some of these things wrong
Right.
with the house.
Yeah, and that's usually how it goes. The realtor is usually the mitigator on that. I just tell, this is the issue. I'll give you a rough estimate because depending on a lot of factors, who you get, how busy they are, how much it's going to cost, things like that. But then that's a money issue. It's just you put a monetary stamp on it, then the negotiation begins.
Yeah.
There you go.
For sure.
It says here, since July, the city of Chicago has sought several action against the Windy City rehab team over dangerous and unsafe condition at 4 properties. So this is not the only one that is having issues. My day is, it's a reality TV show. The question is, do they actually know what they're doing? Or they may seem like they know what they're doing. Now it's like, you got caught. Now it's backfire. Like, not everyone.
Yeah.
I say probably Brothers is good. I assume.
Well, you assume because it's a TV show and popularity increases trust, which doesn't mean, and it's still a business, so in every business you're trying to make more money for less, work or output.
Right.
So I can see that, and if I can see from the buyer's perspective that, this is if there's any problems, they're worried about publicity, they're going to take care of it, or, so you start getting into that, and it's scary. It's scary to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because some of the things they're talking about finding in that, $1.36 million home are the same things that you would find in a $100,000 home. If the roof's not complete, you know it.
Right.
If there's leaks, you know it. If there's a home inspection.
Right. So, yeah, and that's to prove a point. They were saying they wanted to sue because there wasn't full disclosure of the problem.
Yeah,
but how much of the homeowner's job is it to disclose those things when they do have the right to an inspection?
Yeah, that's what inspection there for. So I'm trying to see if there's
That's a very good point.
If there's a green light, like, can you sue? Would they win? Because it's kind of their responsibility.
Well, there's 2 courts, a real court and public opinion, and they're losing public opinion
report,
right now.
They're
losing public opinion just by this getting out into the public because that trust is a huge portion.
Yeah, for sure.
So, that's the thing. They always make it seem like, you can just on the TV, you can just go to a property, fix it up, everything, always go smooth, but they don't really show what comes with it, Make people feel like, I actually just acquired a house 2 weeks ago, owner finance, and in my mind, still because of the reality TV show, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be easy. I'm gonna go ahead and paint and
Did you get
drywall. No, not yet. I feel like I didn't need to. I'm like, all right, let me go inside and just do it. DIY this. Trying to be Chip and Johanna here with my spouse and see how things go. But reading this article, it's like, hold on, let me slow down here. Let me hire experts and professionals, get their opinion. Hey,
But on the bigger projects, what you're doing on your own, you're limited by your skill. So the quality is going to be limited by your skill. It's the first time you're doing it, skill level is not going to be very high. Second time, it's higher, and so on. But contractors, they're not doing every single thing. They are the expert, but they have to watch a human perform tasks and trust that they're going to do the right thing.
Right.
And anytime you trust a human without verification, you're going to be surprised sometimes.
So what would you say, like, get a home inspector first and then hire a contractor to fix? Because a home inspector, don't y'all like inspect everything that's wrong with the house and then you write a list? Or
I don't like saying everything that is wrong with the house. I like saying whatever is humanly possible, because there's areas of the attic we won't be able to get into when the roof meets the, it's a tight corner. You're going to get in there as best you can and light it up and check it out, make sure there's no moisture mainly.
Right.
But I don't like using words like everything,
Right.
because it's scary. Because
Right. Nothing guaranteed.
Yeah,
there's some things.
I
We're
would-
all human.
I would say 98%. Yes,
Yeah.
98%. You got to give that 2%.
Mm-hmm.
But there's several. Anytime a home changes hands, I would want a home inspection. Either, and there's two ways to do it. One, you can do what we call a pre-listing inspection, where if you want to sell the home and you haven't been in the attic or the crawl space, or you don't know everything about a house, pre-listing inspection will bring a lot of these issues to light, and you can pay to get those things fixed or fix them on your own time, but it's not in that 10 to 14 day window. Then when somebody buys it, they're not going to believe your home inspector anyway. They're going to get another one.
Right.
And probably another company altogether. And then at that point, that's free, because I work, the home inspector works for you when he's looking for deficiencies.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever level you're at. So nobody else really even matters. The realtor gets copies, but I don't work for them. I work for the client.
How much average home inspecting costs?
So the kind of the baseline for to get those numbers is 1,200 square foot slab built after 1980 is, for me, $325. It usually ranges depending on markets and company size and things like that. It can be $325, $350, $375.
Well, that's not bad.
It's
Make sure you
for
save thousands of dollars from not going on your own, judging on your own, or you can hire a home inspector to talk the seller into a discount. So
How often does the inspection kill the deal? Because
it has.
it does kill the
It
deal.
does kill the deal, and that there's a couple of factors that help mitigate that. Number one, setting expectations. If you buy a house built in 1929, you're going to get benefits from that. You're going to get quality materials. You're going to get character, but there's maintenance issues involved in that. And if somebody was going to buy a 1930s house, the first thing I would say, look, when I go to a new house, I expect to find 20 deficiencies.
yeah,
Every 10 years, I expect 5 or 10 deficiencies.
Right.
Based on, depending on the maintenance, if it was upkept, it's,
Right.
you can maintain that home for a long, long time.
right.
But if you set those expectations, it's less scary when they see the report's going to be 60 pages on a house, mid-level house. The older you get, the more pages, more deficiencies, the more things to look at.
How long does it take you to make a 60-page report like that?
We use an application on an iPad. Then we go through and we're basically taking pictures, narratives with that as we go. So at the end of the 3-hour inspection on that size of home is what we estimate. It could go 30 minutes left or right, but when we walk out of the inspection, before we go, if the client's there, and I recommend they always are, they get a review of the report. You're seeing what the issues you're going to see when it's sent to you digitally, but we can walk and talk and point and say, all right, this is what I see, and the pictures do it justice, but being there is so much better, and that's controlling expectations.
There you go.
If it's an issue that is what scares me, I'm not allowed to tell a client that I would not buy a home, but I can tell them what my poker face and my worried face looks like. And it looks like this.
Yeah.
Play poker with John. All right.
I need to do that in front of some sellers I'm talking to. Talking about buying their house.
Listen, I cannot use my powers for evil. I cannot.
Yeah. So let's see here. The couple also noted exterior masonry problems, improper installation of windows, and the need for a new roof. They say that the Windy City Rehab team agreed to cover costs associated with those issues, but they didn't receive all the funds as promised, and they had to shell out for upgrades and landscaping. Now they want out of the home. Let's see here. She'd say Allison sent a text to them. I guess the couple will say they told her that, and she replied, "If I have to cover her contractor portion, I will. I do not want to F with my life or business any more than he already has." So it seemed like the host of the Windy City Rehab have issue with the contractor. So get a new contractor.
Yeah, at this point, it was the trust factor. I mean, because they're TV personalities. They may have experience in homes, and I'm sure they do. I'm not discounting that at all. But if you're not there doing, and I'm sure it's different on TV than in real life because they're building a home or repairing a home or whatever.
So they blame the contractors pretty much.
Yeah, blame the contractor.
And they would. And it more than likely is their fault because they're the most responsible. It just doesn't appear that way.
Right.
Yeah, so the team...
Which is another reason to get an inspection. To check your
You
contractors.
guys are spitting fire right now for me, I'm telling you.
Yeah. So the team was ordered to start work last year for alleged violation at multiple properties. Let's see here. Basically, they are ordered to stop from the Chicago for the Chicago Department of Buildings. So, but season 2, according to the article, season 2 is coming out later on this year. So
it's going to be home renovation and partial law and order litigation.
What's funny about this is that they used actors. The buyers wasn't on the episode that they're talking about.
Oh, really?
They used actors because they didn't want to be on camera. So
okay. So they had some stand-ins.
And according to her tweet, it's common. Yeah, it's like common practice.
Right. Sure.
So don't believe anything you see on TV.
Yeah.
Call John. Hire an expert, hire a professional. Don't watch these reality TV shows and thinking that all of a sudden you're a guru that you can jump in it. I almost fell for that trap. Reading this article, slowing down.
Absolutely.
So moving on, 5 home improvements that may not pay off when you sell. Let's see here. Number one is the chef quality kitchen. If you love to cook, a high-end kitchen could be the ultimate gift for you. But if you think a massive overhaul with majority impact resale value, you may be in for a surprise. An upscale kitchen renovation recoups just 54% of its cost and added value, according to Remodeling Magazine's 2020. So basically, I guess if you do marble countertops and high-end appliances, you could spend $100,000. Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a marble countertop in person?
Beautiful.
I see granite and other countertop, but I never seen any marble countertop. Maybe I haven't been that fancy.
Mostly shoddy houses. I'm in the shoddy house business.
Well, I mean, not everyone has it, but I have seen it, and it is beautiful. It is gorgeous.
Right.
It's expensive, and the return on your investment.
They say $100,000. I'm like,
it's hard to raise.
No, if I get I wouldn't get a marble countertop, but I wouldn't cut. Nobody not allowed to cut food.
Oh yeah.
Or eat on that thing. Don't touch the countertop.
You better not have kids. I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So they say go. Think granite rather than marble, and think GE instead of Sub-Zero. So basically, upgrade a little bit. Don't overdo it because it's not going to improve the value of the house. Now, number 2 is DIY, do yourself painting. A bold statement wall can say the wrong things to potential buyer if the workmanship is questionable. Low quality paint can knock off $1,700 off a home price. A good paint job is not easy. Say a real estate agent. It is all in the prep work, and most people don't want to do the prep work. Now I can contest to this because I do researching, and I had a 3 or 4 bedroom home where I just take over the seller mortgage payments and pay them until I cash them out. So with his permission, I can paint the living room, paint the house. This was my first house. I went from living in an apartment to living in a house. So I got inside. It was a dark blue, and I will add this into the video to show y'all. It was dark blue. I didn't. I guess you have to paint it like a white color. It's something you do before you actually put the color. What's that called?
Prime.
Yeah, prime. See, show you how amateur I am. So yeah, I would try. I did it. One was a lot of work. It was messy, and trying to sell the home. Resell the home, and then the buyers that came in like, who did this? Who did that? Like, me. They didn't like it. It was hard to sell the home, but I ended up selling it. But it ended up costing me a big discount, like $2,000, $3,000 because I messed up. I even tried to do the popcorn. There was popcorn selling, and I didn't think how messy popcorn selling can be. So I scrape it. I think I bought I bought like this acid thing. You spray on it. It's supposed to burn the paint off. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't even wear my gloves. So what do you think would happen?
You had to
I sprayed with a bottle, put in a plastic bottle, and I sprayed, and a little drip hit my hand. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Did it burn immediately?
Acid. I panicked. I ran to the bathroom. I tried to wash my hands, and it was so bad that it was taking paint off the sink. That's how bad it would burn. And I stopped completely, left a whole mess. So the buyer also had to buy the house as this. So, moral of the story is hire a professional.
And you got to stay neutral because the first thing people want to do when they move into a house is repaint. That is number one usually. Or take out carpet, paint. The one or two, however that goes. So if you do paint, you have to. Number one, it has to be at least a mid-level job, and it has to be a neutral color because everything they're talking about in that article is you're narrowing the people that would want to buy it down,
right?
And then you're investing too much in something that everybody would want, but you're not going to get it back,
right?
So it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody
would be doing it, right?
There would be zero other jobs. Everybody would just be flipping houses, and that's it.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, we got number 3 in an Hispanic master suite. Knock it down a wall to create a oversized master bedroom or still closet space to build out a bathroom may sound dreamy, but how about at a sell point? If you go from 5 bedroom to 4 and you can make it work, it's no big deal.
But if you go to from 3 to 2 or something,
then
screwing yourself.
Yeah. So the buyer would no longer look at it like a bedroom. Mm-hmm. Number 4 is plush wall to wall. Let's see here. Next saying is copy can be especially unattractive to first-time home buyers who may be used to landlord updating carpets between winters. In general, people are grossed out by carpeting. It can make a room look a little bit dated. So basically what they're saying is take out carpet and put hardwood. Mm-hmm. Let's see, a swimming pool. Now this is a good one. Because, have you ever dealt with sellers like, I got a pool, and it rubbed this, so this is why. What they're saying is, it doesn't matter if it infinitely edge or above ground, any pool can be seen as a drawback by buyers who don't want to deal with maintenance and insurance. Even in Florida, a pool doesn't add value. Even in Florida, the state of where...
Wow.
Of all of them, I disagree with that one the most, and I don't necessarily disagree with it, but a pool's a big deal. If you get a house with a pool, that's a step up.
Right.
Usually for some people. Now, those people may not know what it takes to prepare and continually maintain a pool.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like, we get to swim. I'll buy it.
Absolutely. The carpet, I agree with 100%. And if you've ever seen carpet in a bathroom,
I've seen that.
It will make you almost get uneasy.
People put carpet in the bathroom?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Yes.
That was an old school trend, wasn't it?
Yes. And millennials will say that boomers are messing up everything by putting up carpet, but I'm gonna tell you, they were protecting that hardwood for you guys.
They were.
With green shag carpet.
There you go. So basically, on the pool thing, if you think about reselling, it's not worth it. You will never recoup the cost.
That's probably true.
But if you use it, enjoy it, put it in the pool.
Yeah.
And that's it. Moving on.
What if I have like a wave pool? Does that increase the value of my house? Right?
No pool. Wave pool, Jello pool. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get your money out of it.
Right. If you have to install it, but it is a selling point for a lot of families.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Had to look for the right buyer.
Yeah, for the right buyer. But again, you're narrowing it down. So.
But so if you're going to increase the value of your house by adding a pool, it's probably best to like go on the lower end, not like above ground or something, but you know, just get a basic pool. Don't get the fanciest pool you can think of.
Exactly.
You know.
All right, moving on. Renting in Washington. What's the cheaper apartment available right now? According to the renter site Zupper. Am I saying that right? Zumper? Zumper. Jumper. Sound like Zillow to me. Median rent for a one bedroom in Washington are hovering around $2,000 for a one bedroom. Now God, one bedroom for $2,000. DC, let's go. But these are the apartments that are available. That's less than that. You got one for $905 per month. Another one for So as y'all can see, here's it even show the address where you can go find.
So are these in good areas? Are they in good areas or bad areas?
It's Washington D.C. Washington D.C. got bad areas. That's a good question. Don't know, but basically,
they're probably not the best areas.
If you live in
half median rent,
right.
Right.
You know? If you look at if you live in DC, you're looking for cheap apartments. Here you go. These from the pictures actually look nice, but will you pay $2,000 for a one bedroom? What's the average here for a one bedroom? Here?
One bedroom? It's definitely under
600.
Yeah, 650, 600.
Yeah, it's like 6. Yeah, 6 maybe, depending on where you live.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah, and living in DC is not cheap, regardless of rent. But the cost of living is so high, it's a packed area. But everybody's going to do what they have to do to survive. So if you got to move in. Lots of roommates, extra roommates, whatever you need to do.
Yeah. But if you're making more money, which hopefully you are if you live in DC, then it's not as big of a deal.
Right.
Right.
But it does sound ridiculous from my perspective because there's no way I'm paying $2,000 for any type of apartment.
Right. Yeah.
One bedroom or more.
Exactly.
No way. First time home buyer program for Maryland resident in 2020. Now, if you don't live in Maryland, this may apply. You can save up for a home for years, but even with low mortgage rates and less competition for properties, you worry about affording both the down payment and the monthly cost that comes with home ownership. If you live in Maryland, know that owning a home in the state isn't cheap. The median home value of owner-occupied homes from 2014 to 2018 was $305,500 according to the U.S. Census Bureau. What's the median price of a little
the median home price?
Like
I think it's like
160.
No, the median home price in Louisville is like 200.
200?
190.
Yeah, so this is like the national median price is 204. Basically, here are some of the things. Here are 9 types of first-time home buying programs. The first one is called Federal Mortgage Program. In addition to the state and local first-time buyers, be sure to look at the federal government, including Federal Housing Administration, and loans from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. in loans.
Get a VA loan.
VA loan. I think VA loan is. Yeah. I'm a veteran. I haven't used a VA. We was talking.
I bought 2 houses and never
he bought
used
2 houses and then never used a VA.
Why not, guys?
It's like it's more like so. Okay, and this is there's a group. And I won't plug them, VA rep, that this is the only thing they're concerned with was, veterans using the VA loan, maintaining, jobs to continue owning the home.
Right.
And then actually using the VA loan. So
right.
The reason I never used it is because if you go to a Chevy dealership and they don't sell, they don't have to have the VA loan. They don't have to offer that. You're going to buy a Chevy, even if you want to afford it, you're buying a Chevy.
Right.
So a lot of times that's the case, or awareness, or it's also not something that they have to ask you when you say, "Hey, I want to buy a house." They'll say, let's run everything. They don't ever have to ask you if you're a veteran.
Right.
So if they don't ask you and you don't say it, you're not going to use the VA loan.
Right.
And that's a big thing that this
that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing they need to change. So educate veterans.
Yes.
Use the benefits and stuff.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to be a good deal, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, low down payment.
Or zero and low interest.
Yeah, I want a VA loan.
Well, it is.
Join the Army.
Depending on what.
I know, right? Me and John been there. We was talking about it. John.
Well, you know what? If you live in Maryland, a 6-year enlistment might be worth it. Just for the interest rate. Right. But sometimes the VA loan is not the most lucrative loan for even a veteran. It may not have the right interest rate, or it might be more beneficial to use something else. First time buyer is what I used the first time, and I was told that it was better to do that than the VA loan.
There you go.
That's good. You
got a special assistance grant. So again, if you are a person buying a home with a Freddie Mac HVA advantage, you may be qualified for this state grant aimed at helping you cover the down payment. So grant is, correct me if I'm wrong, but grant you don't have to pay back, right? So. Yep. Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Sure. Cover the down payment, and first time home buying classes. They do have that around the nationwide of what it takes to be a homeowner.
Cool.
I think that's important. I think that's not nearly as widespread as it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's good to help more people become homeowners. Right.
There you go.
As long as they can afford it.
Yeah, and that's the key. There are hidden responsibilities that nobody thinks about until after your first month in the home, and you got to figure it out.
There we go. U.S. home prices jump in Q4 as housing inventory continued to fall. So home prices climb up 6.6% yearly to 274,900 in the fourth quarter of 2019. So basically, homes are raising up. So what is this? A seller market? You call
Definitely
this?
a seller's market.
That's good.
So there's a hot market.
For sellers, absolutely. It's been that way since.
How long have it been? We on a 10-year streak? Like people are like, oh, this is the year. Last year,
10 years.
Yeah, about
right
10
around
years.
10 years. And I haven't been in the home inspection industry for that. I mean, really, my entire life, and I've never seen where realtors are going to people who own a home and saying, "Hey, do you want to sell your house because somebody will buy it and you're going to make about $50,000? Do you want to move? Can you do that? Does it make sense? Okay, let's sell your house."
Yeah, that's what you got to do if you're a realtor now.
Yeah.
You got to go after people that have expressed zero interest in selling their house and ask if they want to do it.
And the money could be there for them to do it, and that could increase.
Yeah, I think the lowest of mortgage rates is we covered this on the other episode, 3.5. So it's very low.
So refinance or sell. You can make money that way either way.
There you go.
Yep.
So let's see here. Questions before we end this episode. Go over questions. If y'all have any questions, email me or Matt at raytalk2@gmail.com. So the first question is from Teresa. I love your YouTube podcast videos. Thanks. Question. What is the difference between rent to own and lease with the right to purchase? Oh,
That was a good one.
It's a good question.
That is a good one.
what are the pros and cons? And just to let y'all know, those who are watching this episode, say any real estate related questions, or it doesn't have to be real estate related. Just ask the question. So Teresa, to answer your question, rent to own and the difference between lease with the right to purchase. So I specialize. That's why she asked me. I know her.
And I'm glad she did.
I specialize in lease to auction. See, that's the thing. When I started this show, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be one of them guys that promotes my business or where I'm gonna try to do this separate. But I guess people want to hear it.
You're intertangled with it, man.
I'm intertangled. There's no escaping from this.
Yeah.
We're getting educated.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so rent to basically. It's kind of the same as a lease auction, but it's not really. With the rent to own, you have the rent going to the purchase price. Every time you pay rent, that monthly payment that's going to the purchase price. You are a buy to buy that home. It's like a bilateral contract versus one. A lease with the right to purchase, you are simply leasing the home, just rent, but you have the right to buy. Sometimes, depending on the owner, you can have some of the rent going to it, all the rent, but in most cases, especially with my company, America Second Chance, there you go, I plug it. We don't do rent, none of the rent going to the purchase price. The reason because if for some reason you miss any payments, instead of evicted, you have to foreclose go through a foreclosure process, and that can take from 6 months to a year. So that's why I personally don't do rent to own. But the pros and cons, and the question is, what are the pros and cons? Rent to own, if you want the rent to go into the purchase price, then you would do a rent to own if you can find a homeowner to do that. But with a lease, with the lease with a right to purchase. Now, I always tell people because people got this misconception that I'm telling everybody to do a lease auction. Lease auction is for those who have a little bit not credit worthy, but close to being credit worthy.
The buyers.
Mm-hmm.
The buyers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I assume that what you were talking about is, again, I can talk about lease auction all day on seller perspective, my perspective, and the buyer perspective. But I'm assuming she's talking about the buyers. Now, with the buyers, I know some friends that can't get a home loan, but they use all that money, the down payment, to get the house. Now they got an empty house. You're house rich.
Yeah.
With this, you can get into a home, from $1,000 to $10,000, or no money down, and save up money, raise your credit score, because the higher your credit, the better option you have to get a better loan. So lease auction can be good for that, and that's about it. I mean, again, I'm trying to keep it short. I can go teach a whole class. I think I need to do a education video, set up another channel. Now that I think about it, to educate people on the lease auction. We got another question from Chris. Another lease auction question. How much down do I need how much down do I need in down payment on a house? It depends on what you and the seller agreed to. Some seller, some seller ask for $1,000, no money down, to ridiculous $30,000. Now, me, on the other hand, personally, I do 3 to 5%, no more than that, because I want you to take the rest of the money. You can afford to pay more than 5%. That's good and all, but I'd rather have you take the rest of the money, improve your credit score, and then cash cash out as soon as possible. This is all about helping people, not hurting people. But yeah, depends on the agreement with the seller. That's how much down payment you would need to get into a house. So, John, any other thing you would like to say or add?
No.
Thank you for coming out.
No, man, that's blast.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, and how can they reach you?
Yeah.
I didn't know we were plugging.
Hey, Matt, put it out there. Go ahead.
We got it.
I mean,
812-670-5007 is the number that can reach me anytime. Also, www.ingleHomeInspections.com. And then you can find me on Facebook as well with Ingle Home Inspections.
There you go.
Boom.
All right, guys. Well, catch y'all on the next one. And John, thank you for coming out.
Anytime, man.
We
We can wait as long as you want, but make sure you invite me back because this is fun.
Yeah,
there you
it is.
go. And we are done.
All right.
Boom. There you go.
That
And
was-
that's it.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was a good one.